Sir David, how is development shifting consumption behaviour?
I don't think it ever shifts. I think people will buy what is good value, and people, when they get richer, will buy things which they perceive to be able to give them status. So there will always be things that they will be comparing themselves with each other in terms of the daily necessaries. So if Tesco went to China and an apple was actually sweeter than the local one, then they will say, well, is it more expensive? The consumer is very, very clever. So in terms of the cheaper end, they will buy the best value for money. But as you know, there's a rising middle class. And so with this rising middle class, it means status becomes in their mind. They need to know what Mr. Wong has next door. Is his refrigerator as big as mine? Is his bicycle as smooth as mine? Is the car he's buying more expensive than mine? And then they shift that and they say, should I be wearing a real Rolex as opposed to a fake one? And so I don't think that has ever changed human nature. And China is able now, with a rising middle class, to start thinking about all the bourgeois things of life, of the next door neighbor. And that's why, in a way, it's perceived to be changing. But you will see, unless it was for the mainlanders, Hong Kong would not be able to sustain its retail business. It's all the Chinese. I think about 15, 16 million of them coming through Hong Kong who are actually buying up all the stuff.
What are some Chinese behaviour and culture that should inform a company's value proposition?
First of all, there is no formula. Secondly, I think you've got to have common sense. If you want to sell something, make sure that somebody is going to buy it. If you're going to price something, make sure that it is the right price. If you want to sell something good and enduring, make sure that that's so. So, you know, there is actually no secret in doing business. If you sell a product or some goods which are good at the right price, good value for money, and then the luxury end, a perception that you're actually getting more than you're paying for, because it lifts your status, it lifts your own psychology, then that's it. That's what you do.
You have stores in major cities in the world outside of China. Is this a growth area for you as well?
Yes, anywhere that makes money must be a growth area. And I think that sooner or later, I think the biggest market is going to be China.
Okay, thank you, Sir David, for being with INSEAD Knowledge.
Thank you very much.